Listen, sweetheart debt collectors talk fast so you forget that the law moves slowly and on paper. You must pay now is theater. What matters is whether you legally owe, whether they can prove it, and whether the clock has already rung. Today we'll walk through 6 kinds of debts older adults can often refuse to pay under the rules where you live, and we'll replace panic with scripts you can use on the phone and at the kitchen table. I'm not your lawyer. Laws vary by country and state. Use common sense, keep everything in writing, and ask a legal aid clinic or consumer attorney about your exact situation. Here's the first win that takes 60 seconds and gives you power all year. Make a debt folder. One plain envelope or digital folder labeled with today's date. Into it goes every letter, every voicemail transcript, every screenshot from banking apps, and a sheet of paper where you log every call. Date, time, who called, what they claimed, and what you said. Paper beats panic. If that already calms your shoulders, tap like and subscribe, more tiny wins ahead. Now, what does legally walk away mean? It doesn't mean throwing bills in the bin. It means you use the rules to say, no, I don't owe this, or you can't sue me to collect this, or you may not contact me again unless you can prove it, or you must remove this because it's not mine. The difference between a threat and a legal right is a page of words you send, not words you say, so we'll give you those pages. Debt type when you can often refuse to pay. Time-barred debts, what people call zombie debts. Every state or country has a statute of limitations, a deadline for suing over most consumer debts. When that deadline passes, collectors may still ask, but they usually can't win in court if you say the magic sentence. This debt is time-barred under the statute of limitations. Here's the trap to avoid. Don't restart the clock by making a small payment or by writing, I owe, if you're not sure. Ask for the date of your last payment and the statute of limitations for that kind of debt where you live. Then send a letter that says, I do not acknowledge owing this debt. Based on your records, it appears to be time-barred. Do not contact me except to provide written verification or to confirm that collection efforts have stopped. Keep a copy. If they sue you anyway, you respond to the court on time and raise statute of limitations as a defense. Courts run on paper and deadlines. You can be calm and on time. Debt type 2 you can often refuse to pay. Debts that cannot be validated, wrong person, wrong amount, wrong math, no documents. Collectors must, upon request, provide basic validation. Who the original creditor is, how much they claim you owe, and proof that they have the right person and the right balance. If the first letter arrives, or the first time you confirm your address on the phone, you send a debt validation request. Your script on the phone is, I do not discuss debts by phone. Please send validation by mail. Do not call me again. Communicate in writing only. Then you send a short letter by mail or portal. I dispute this debt in its entirety and request validation. Provide the name of the original creditor, account number, itemization, principal, interest, fees, and documents showing that I am the correct person and you have the right to collect. Until you provide validation, cease collection and phone calls. If they never validate, you're not required to pay. If they keep calling without validating, that's a complaint for a regulator or a lawyer. The golden rule: no payment, no promises, no bank details until paper arrives. Debt type 3 you can often refuse to pay. Debts that belong to someone else, deceased relatives, ex-spouses, or accounts where you were only an authorized user. In many places, debts of a deceased person are paid, if at all, from the estate, not from the pockets of family members. A surviving spouse is sometimes responsible in community property regions or when they co-signed, but not just because they shared a life. If a collector calls about your late husband's card that was only in his name, your line is, please send me this claim in writing addressed to the estate of / I am not personally responsible. Do not call me again. Communicate by mail only. For adult children, the script is similar. I am not liable for my parents' debts. Stop calling me. If you were an authorized user on a credit card, you usually are not responsible for the balance. The account holder is. If a collector says otherwise, ask for the signed agreement showing you co-signed. If they can't provide it, you have nothing to pay. Keep emotions out. Let paper do the talking. Debt type 4 you can often refuse to pay. Identity theft, fraud, and unauthorized accounts or charges. If someone opened an account in your name or used your card without permission, you don't owe those charges. What you owe is a paper trail. Step 1. Call the bank's fraud department using the number on your card or statement. Lock the card. Step 2. Write, I did not open this account. I did not authorize these charges. Please remove them and send me a corrected statement. Step 3. Place a fraud alert or credit freeze with the major credit bureaus where you live and get copies of your reports. Step 4. File an identity theft report with the consumer authority in your country, for example, a National Consumer Protection Agency or police report. Step 5. Keep notes. Do not give a collector your bank account details so we can refund you faster. Refunds go back to the original card or by mailed check. Thieves love expedite stories. If the fraudster was family, breathe and still file. Compassion and protection can live in the same house. Debt type 5 you can often refuse to pay in full or at all. Medical bills that are wrong, inflated, or eligible for financial assistance. Hospital and clinic bills are famous for errors, double charges, wrong patient, facility fees that grow like weeds. Your plan: ask for an itemized bill with codes and dates. Compare it to your memory and any statements from your insurer. Dispute in writing any service you didn't receive or any price your plan didn't approve. If the provider is a nonprofit hospital, common in many regions, ask for financial assistance or charity care forms. Many must offer discounts or even full forgiveness based on income. If a bill is the result of an out-of-network ambulance or emergency you didn't choose, your region may protect you from balance billing. Ask a patient advocate or regulator if surprise billing laws apply. Until the provider gives a corrected, itemized bill and finishes the assistance review, you can usually pause payment without penalty. Collectors who chase disputed medical bills before corrections are running ahead of themselves. Make them walk. Debt type 6 you can often refuse to pay. Add-on fees and junk charges that were never in your contract. Collectors love to pad balances with collection fees, legal review, document fees, or interest rates pulled from the sky. Your letter says, I dispute any amount beyond the principal I may owe. Provide the contract that authorizes each fee and the math that supports your interest. Remove any unauthorized or unlawful fees. If they cannot show a signed agreement or a law allowing the add-ons, those charges are theater, not debt. Do not negotiate a total that includes imaginary parts. Insist on a clean itemization before you discuss a penny. Let's give you comm scripts for the 3 most common collector calls. Call script 1: unknown debt. I don't discuss debts by phone. Mail me the details. This is not a refusal to pay. This is a request for validation. Do not call me again. Send all communication in writing. If they push, you repeat it like a lullaby. If they ask for your birth date to verify, decline and ask them to read the address they have. If it's wrong or old, you're done. You owe no one your data. Call script 2: time-barred zombie debt. I do not acknowledge owing this debt. Based on the date you stated, I believe it is time-barred. Do not contact me except to provide written verification or to confirm that collection efforts have stopped. Do not let them talk you into a good faith payment. That can wake the zombie. Zombies love pennies. Don't feed them. Call script 3: deceased relative/authorized user. Please address any claim to the estate of / in writing. I am not personally liable. Do not call this number again. If they continue, write down time and date. Repeated calls after you set the boundary are reportable behavior in many regions. Now, how to pay nothing or less without waking dragons. If a debt is valid and within the time limit, but you can't pay, you still have leverage. First, ask for a hardship plan or settlement in writing that 1. States the amount, 2. Waives additional interest fees, 3. Marks the account as settled in full or paid as agreed, and 4. Confirms they will furnish updated information to any credit bureaus. Never hand over your bank login or a continuous debit authorization. Pay with a one-time method you control after you have the letter. And never agree on the phone to today-only offers. If it's real today, it's real tomorrow in writing. Know what can't be taken and who can't take it. Private collectors in many places cannot touch certain income like basic Social Security type benefits, pensions, or disability deposits, especially when clearly labeled in the account history. Government debts, child support, and tax liens follow different rules. The phrase you use is, my benefits are protected income. Do not attempt to debit or garnish these funds. Any attempt will be disputed. If a collector threatens jail over a consumer debt, that's theater. Jail is for crimes, not unpaid credit cards. If someone threatens arrest to scare you, write the time, date, and words used and report them. Calm people with notebooks are a collector's least favorite audience. What about credit reports? Old debts usually fall off reports after a reporting period, often around 7 years in many places. That is separate from the lawsuit deadline. If a collector reages the date to keep it on your report longer, dispute with the credit bureau. This account is older than the allowed reporting period. Remove it. Attach any old statements that show dates. Credit reports run on dates, not size. Paper toolkit you can copy by hand tonight. Validation letter. I dispute this debt and request validation. Provide the name of the original creditor, account number, itemization of the amount, principal, interest, fees, and documents proving your right to collect and that I am the correct person. Until you provide validation, cease collection and telephone contact. Send all correspondence by mail to / time-barred letter. I do not acknowledge owing this debt. Based on the information you provided, I believe this debt is time-barred under the applicable statute of limitations. Do not contact me again except to provide written verification or to confirm that your collection efforts have stopped. Cease phone letter. Do not contact me by telephone at any number. All communication must be in writing to / identity theft letter to creditor. I did not open this account and I did not authorize these charges. Close the account, remove the charges, and send me a corrected statement. I have filed an identity theft report with the appropriate authority and placed fraud alerts freezes with the credit bureaus. Please provide any application or documents used to open the account. Medical dispute letter. I dispute the enclosed medical bill. Please provide an itemized bill with codes and dates of service and review this account for financial assistance eligibility. Do not send this to collections while it is under review. Where to get help that doesn't sell you something you don't need. Look for legal aid societies, senior law hotlines, or government consumer protection offices in your region. Many will review your letters and tell you which deadlines matter where you live. Debt settlement companies love to charge fees you could have kept. Talk to a nonprofit counselor or legal aid before you pay anyone to fix your debt. How to make your phone calm again. Save unknown numbers to a contact named Debt Caller so your phone warns you. Turn on silence unknown callers. If a voicemail arrives, write it down in your call log and do not return the call until you receive a letter that matches the details. If a collector calls your workplace after you say stop, that's usually a violation. Write it down. If they talk to anyone else about your debt, write it down. Paper. Wins. 7-day plan to go from rattled to ready. Day 1, create your debt folder. Gather every letter and screenshot. Write a 1-page list of your current debts with the last payment date if you know it. Day 2, for any collector who has contacted you in the last 30 days, mail a validation request and a cease phone line. Start a call log page. Day 3, pull your credit reports and circle any account you don't recognize or that looks older than the allowed reporting period. Start disputes where appropriate. Day 4, if you have medical bills, request itemized statements and financial assistance forms. If you believe surprise billing protections apply, note that in your letter. Day 5, if someone has passed and collectors are calling you, send the estate-only letter. If identity theft is involved, file the identity theft report and place freezes. Day 6, review your bank auto-pays. Cancel any collector auto-debits you didn't sign in writing. Move benefits to an account that only receives protected deposits if that's available in your region. Day 7, make a 10-minute call to legal aid or a consumer attorney to confirm your state's statute of limitations and any special rules that apply to your debts. Put those notes in your folder. Let's finish with calm truths you can keep in your wallet. You do not owe a voice on the phone your story, your bank login, or your sweat. You owe paper its due. You do not have to decide while someone is talking fast. You can refuse to pay a debt that is not yours, that is too old to sue over, that cannot be validated, that was discharged, that grew with junk fees, or that should be reduced or forgiven under hospital rules. You can block calls, write letters, and ask for help. You can sleep with your phone face down and your folder on a shelf, knowing tomorrow you'll handle one more page. Recap you can tape inside a cabinet. Folder first, no phone payments, validation in writing, time-barred debts get the clocks run out letter. Identity theft gets a fraud report, freezes, and a corrected statement. Medical bills get itemized and reviewed for assistance. Junk fees need contracts or they go. Deceased authorized user debts are not yours, send it to the estate or show they never had your signature. Keep notes, meet deadlines, and choose boring, documented moves over panicked ones. Getting older isn't about letting fear borrow your voice. It's about knowing the rules and using your paper to make nonsense go quiet.